All right, I'm gonna come in hot with this one here. No one is gonna expect how I'm opening this right now. Who's better, NSYNC or Backstreet Boys?
In Sync. This is not even a competition. It's not even a discussion. In Sync is the GOAT. Like, come on now. Let's not do this.
I'm asking genuinely because I don't have enough personal attachment to either of their catalogs to weigh in.
So here's the thing. Here's the objective thing. Backstreet Boys sold more albums. Like when it comes to like the sales, Backstreet Boys sold more albums.
I love that you have this information in your head already.
Because it's because NSYNC is one of my favorite like artists. So yeah, I know. Like I've had this battle.
I respect it
so many times. Backstreet Boys has more sales for sure, and I'm talking about like from the beginning of the Backstreet Boys to when NSYNC like disbanded, which was 2001, 2002. So like I'm talking about like from that point, like that area, because Backstreet Boys is still a thing. They've released more music, all that stuff. Their first album was it called Larger Than Life? Was that the actual name of the album, or was it Millennium?
That wasn't their first.
I don't know. Pulling
their
strings,
Millennium album,
strings attached, no strings attached.
Their Millennium album was like, it was kind of like a one-hit wonder type album where it just like sold buckets, like crazy amounts. And I'm not denying that, and I'm not denying that Backstreet Boys isn't a great group. I like Backstreet Boys. But when it came to NSYNC was like...
We're NSYNC.
It's true.
Like, they held a televised concert for NSYNC. They don't do that. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't get that for artists unless they are, like, super popular.
Backstreet Boys played in heaven, though.
That's in a movie. It's not the same.
It doesn't count. That was film.
I don't even know.
So, like,
Backstreet Boys' debut single is "We've Got It Going On." I don't even know if I know that song. Do I know that song?
I don't think I know that song.
I don't think I know that song either.
And then this said NSYNC's their first hit is "I Want You Back." Is that right?
No. Wait.
Isn't "I Want You Back" Backstreet?
No, it's NSYNC. You back in and out. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, and "I Want You Back."
Back, yeah. I think it was.
I'm just looking at Wikipedia because I'm not familiar enough to make any claims here.
I gotta.
It says their lead single is "I Want You Back," and their group's second single was "Tearing Up My Heart."
Oh, Tearing Up My Heart was what I thought. Yeah. "I Want You Back" and "Tearing Up My Heart" were like the two big ones, man. Because when we are apart, I feel it too. Also, here we go, one more time. Everybody's feeling fine. Here we go, here we go. NSYNC has got the flow. It's Jude. Like, come on now, come on.
I don't have an attachment to them.
Oh my
I don't
god!
know if I have an attachment to any boy band, to be honest.
And then No Strings Attached is a 10 out of 10 album. Like it's short. It's like 7 or 8 tracks. All of them are bangers, and the one ballad song is a good ballad track. Like that is a 10 out of 10 album, for sure.
Well,
there you have it.
There it is. That's the definitive.
Also,
how many members of NSYNC can you name?
NSYNC?
Okay. How many members of NSYNC are there first?
5.
How many okay, you're correct.
Wait, really? Okay, hold on.
How many members of Backstreet Boys are there?
NSYNC. NSYNC. Each initial is something to do with their name.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Right? Doesn't it have to do with their names or something?
Brenden, who's the most famous member of NSYNC?
No, I know, but I think it's like a different letter of their names. It's not their first letter. Obviously, Justin Timberlake is there. Okay, hold on. Hear me out. We got Justin Timberlake. We got fucking Joey Fatone.
2 for 2.
Chris Kirkpatrick, you can get your ass kicked. Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you, Eminem, for that one. I don't know if I can give me a hint. One of them.
Hold on.
One of them
went to space.
One of them was on Celebrity Big Brother, and I don't know if it was Joey Fatone or someone else. I'm gonna be so mad if it's
one of them that you're missing is like notably like the most popular of the members after Justin Timberlake. Like he
fuck. It's this dude. Damn it. Bravo is on a lot in this house because Jen watches Bravo. That dude is friends with someone on Vanderpump Rules, and he's been. I know exactly who it is.
Yes,
he's been on Vanderpump Rules. Yes,
he's the gay one.
Yes,
he's the gay one.
Fuck, what's the first letter of his name?
No, not giving you that.
Shit. I definitely know this person's name too.
What's my name?
That was Chris Kirkpatrick.
Yeah, that was Chris Kirkpatrick. So he's already got that one.
If you can remember that sketch, that SNL sketch, you have all the names because you've already said Chris Kirkpatrick. It's not you.
Blank.
Yeah.
I can't. I won't be able to remember that. Shit. I definitely know this person's name. I want to say it's something with a J or an N. No, it's not J.
Nope.
There's not two J's. Where do you got Justin? I don't know. Jen also said NSYNC is better than Backstreet Boys.
Jen's correct. You should marry her. That's the reason you should marry her.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That's the whole reason.
Yeah, that's the reason.
She passed the final test.
Damn, I'm so mad because I know that person's name.
This is really tearing up my heart.
The fifth one. The fifth one.
Wish we had
not.
music for this.
The fifth one, I definitely won't be able to get.
Which is sad because he's my favorite member. The one that you won't get.
So I still have the "I Want You Back." Like I googled NSYNC's first hit, and the next few things down list their members. So now I've seen the names, and I'm very mad that I couldn't pull Lance Bass out of my hat.
Yeah. Also,
I probably
Bass,
maybe could have got JC too.
Fun fact: Lance Bass was the original voice of Sephiroth.
That I did not know.
Yeah, because the first time that he was voiced was in Kingdom Hearts 1, and he was the voice of him in Kingdom Hearts 1.
I was gonna say, wasn't he the voice in Kingdom Hearts? That makes sense.
He was the voice in Kingdom Hearts. He wasn't the voice in Advent Children.
That's a fun fact.
He's also an astronaut.
I definitely am not going to get.
Yeah, he also went to
Backstreet Boys.
space.
You're not?
No, there's no way. Who's the lead singer? Oh, just the first letter of the lead singer's name.
I will also say.
Yeah, but there's always like the one in front.
I only know one member of Backstreet Boys, and that's because he's Aaron Carter's brother.
Oh, yeah, Nick Carter.
Literally.
Wait, why did I think Nick Carter was in 98 Degrees?
You're thinking about Ashley. No, wait, Ashley was in O-Town, wasn't he?
Yeah, Ashley was in O-Town.
Nick Lachey. You're thinking about Nick Lachey.
I'm thinking of Nick Lachey. God damn it. Anyways, welcome everyone to the Pass the Controller Podcast, the show where a couple of best friends talk about the latest in video games and nerd culture. Sometimes we have guests like tonight, and sometimes we talk about boy bands too much. Either way, we have a new episode for you each and every week, except for last week when my house melted into the ocean. Anyways, as always, I'm your host, Brenden Groom, and joining me on this lovely Friday evening is the anime senpai himself, Mr. Michael Desir. Mike, how are you doing tonight?
Yeah, you know.
Staying dry over there? Staying dry over there?
Very.
Also joining us, of course, is the Disney daddy himself, Dominic Forty. Dom, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
And rounding us out, special guest, first guest of the year, a guest you know if you listen to the show for sure, but you should know them anyway, even if you don't listen to the show. That is the one and only Cameron Hawkins. Cam, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. You know, I since the last time I was on this podcast, I finally have a job now, like a good job, which is awesome. I can sleep at night stressing less about money, which is always a good thing. And you know, I'm really excited for 2024. We've got a lot of like cool stuff game wise coming out, and especially if you're a JRPG sicko like me, it's just like it's a lot of goodies coming. So I'm excited.
Good first few months of the year. You're definitely feasting. Before we hop right into tonight's episode, a couple of quick housekeeping things. This episode, of course, sponsored by our good friends at Goodnight Fatty. If you're in the Salem, Massachusetts area or the North Shore of Massachusetts on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday evening, and you want yourself something hot, sweet, and tasty, you can head on down to 1 Washington Square and get yourself a delicious fatty. But if you're like me, you don't want to fucking leave your house, you can just hop right online and get yourself a drop. But if you do head down, you can let them know the pest controller sent you. Other quick housekeeping things. We didn't announce it on the show at the beginning of the month, and then we had a unprecedented week off. But Todd's movie pick for January, which he didn't officially reveal on the show yet, is The Holdovers. So if you want to hear us talk about The Holdovers at the end of the month, you can watch that film. I think it's on something. Fuck, I forget.
Peacock.
It's
on Peacock.
Did you watch it? Did you already see it?
No, but I need to watch it because it's getting the Oscar buzz. So I gotta watch it myself.
Yeah, Paul Giamatti's picking up a lot of awards.
He is. A lot of people think
he's like
that
an
he
underrated
might actually...
actor. I feel like he doesn't get brought up a lot, but he wins a lot of things.
Paul Giamatti, of course, of Spider-Man.
Big Fat Liar. Oh.
We were all going in completely different directions. Spider-Man 2, Big Fat Liar, Planet of the Apes.
Who does he play in? What Spider-Man is he in?
He's the Rhino in TASM 2, the terrible TASM 2.
Oh, Amazing
Spider-Man. Yeah, the one with.
I never saw those films.
Yeah, you're not missing much.
Do any of us like them? I feel like Mike must like them.
What, Amazing Spider-Man?
Yeah.
No.
Do you like them, Dom? I thought someone liked them.
I would have to rewatch them, but the story was kind of all over the place.
Huh.
I know I came away from both of them being like very upset.
Yeah. Cam not liking them is surprising. I feel like, well, I know the Toby movies are your movies, but and you hate Tom Holland's movies, but
I don't hate Tom Holland's movies. I don't hate Tom.
You just
Holland's
think
movies.
Toby ones are the best.
Yeah, well, I think Toby is the best Spider-Man, or like the best overall portrayal of like Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Like, because I think that Toby, like, if I'm thinking like more objectively, like, I think Toby's the best Peter. I think Andrew's the best Spider-Man, and I think that Tom is decent at both. Like, he's kind of like middle of the road for both. Yeah. So like, but overall, I do like Toby's the most. And I just, when you grow up with Toby, like, it's just kind of like, oh, that's just how it is, right? So
yeah, I'm due for a rewatch of those. I haven't watched like the OG Spider-Man films in a while. I don't even
wait until you get to Spider-Man 3 and they say he's just a boy.
I honestly think
and it's like 40-year-old Tobey Maguire.
That was the second one.
Was it the second one?
Yeah, when he stops the train.
Yeah.
I honestly think that Spider-Man 3 gets it does have its issues, and it's notoriously like studio meddled and stuff like that. But I don't think it's like terrible. I still would rather watch it over like either of the TASM films, and probably Far From Home, the second Tom Holland film. Like, I think it's one. It just is like, oh, he's in Europe, he's not in New York. Like, it's just like yeah. And also, like, I think the Mysterio stuff is interesting, but I think a lot of the stuff it does some like cool things with like the whole Spidey sense stuff, and like that's cool. But overall, it's just like I wasn't crazy about it. Yeah. And also, like, they just take a lot from Spider-Man 2 again, which is just like, I get why they do it, because Spider-Man 2 is by far the best Spider-Man film, and one of the best superhero films. But I think that like it just didn't do a whole lot for me.
Yeah, I think why I like that movie a lot is because I like that. I keep wanting to say Mephisto. I like that Mysterio a lot.
Yeah, I thought Mysterio was an interesting like character for sure. And
I feel like they did a lot of really cool visual things, like the fight scene where he's like doing all the stuff to him and then ends with him like getting hit by a train. I like that whole sequence is like visually very cool. Like, I think some of the best CGI in the whole MCU. So good.
Yeah, that visual stuff was really good, no doubt. Like that's kind of like the stuff I was alluding to.
Yeah. And then I think that's it for housekeeping. We'll roll on after that. So watch the holdovers. We'll talk about it at the end of the month, and then Mike is back up on deck for February. You gonna pick a romance film, Mike? You gonna pick a rom-com?
Yep.
Are you gonna pick Planet of the Apes?
Lake House? Wait, what did you say?
I said Planet of the Apes.
Oh, I should, right? Do you think Brenden knows the twist of the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes?
2000 and
Probably not. I've seen
2001,
the one where he
maybe?
wakes up and it's like a Statue of Liberty that's an ape. That's like the original one? That's the original one, right?
Yes.
Oh,
No.
yes. No.
What?
It's definitely one of the old
Brenden
ones.
Brenden is doing something interesting,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna leave it there.
Oh, is that also the twist of the Tim Burton one?
What?
No.
The end of one of the old Planet of the Apes films, the one with Dr. Zaius.
Yes.
They all
I don't know
have
what-
Dr.
I don't know if they all have Dr. Zaius. But
I
it's
don't know
definitely
what
an
that
old
means.
film. I don't know if it's the actor that plays Ben-Hur. I don't know what the actor's name is.
Charlton Heston?
Yeah,
Carl.
is that also Ben-Hur guy?
I don't know. I think yes. But go on.
Fucking big movie guy. Doesn't it wake up with him washed up on a beach, and then he looks up
Yes.
and he sees the Statue of Liberty and it's an ape,
Yes.
right? Or just a Statue of
Yes.
Liberty and it's
No,
like
it's
in
not.
sand,
It's not. It's
like
not an
buried
ape,
or whatever.
It's in
Okay.
sand.
What's
It's
the
like
thing?
damn you all to hell. Like
What
yeah.
am I confusing like it's an ape instead? Is that an ending to a different Planet of the Apes movie? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Is it like Abraham
That's-
Lincoln
that's
Monument
why-
or something?
That's why we were leaving it where it was.
Is it the
Yeah.
Lincoln Memorial?
It is the Lincoln
Okay,
Memorial.
is that the Tim Burton one?
Correct.
Yes.
I've definitely never seen that movie. I'm sorry to whoever is listening, and
I forgot that movie
I
existed.
spoiled it.
TBH.
I'm pretty sure I did not see that movie.
You
Unless
know who the main actor of that movie is?
Mark Wahlberg.
Hell
I,
yeah,
it is-
brother.
I definitely don't think I've seen that movie then. Unless I went to the movies with one of you to see it. Did either of you see that in theaters?
We saw that. I saw
see
it in
it in theaters.
theaters. That was
I did
before
not.
high school.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, what year was it? 2000?
Like 2000, 2001. Maybe even 2002.
Why didn't they call it King Kong Planet of the Apes 2000? We got Godzilla 2000. Why don't we get that?
We didn't get Godzilla 2000. I
Isn't
think
that what
that,
that movie's
I think
called?
the Matthew Broderick
It's just called
movie is
Godzilla.
called. It's just called Godzilla. It came out in
Oh.
2000. I think it's one of
Was
those.
the
That's what we
soundtrack
were-
called 2000?
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Isn't that like soundtrack executive produced by Puff Daddy?
I mean, that song, the Puff Daddy song, was a bang on that one.
It is a banger.
I feel like the soundtrack for that movie was good. I don't know. Anyways,
Come with me. That was the song.
Yeah,
from
Come With Me.
Godzilla, right?
Yes. They sampled. Shit.
Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
Uh,
Kashmir.
Yeah.
Godzilla 2000 soundtrack.
Yeah, Kashmir.
Oh, it has like the. No, I want like the OST, and I want the fucking score.
We are way off the rails here.
Yeah,
Who
this
cares?
is what
Planet of
happens.
the Apes.
We got Heroes.
2001.
Parentheses The Wallflowers, written by David Bowie. I don't know. Come With Me, Puff Daddy. Deeper Underground, Toby Smith and J.K. Oh, it's a Jamiroquai song. Oh, what? This is weird. Okay.
I didn't know Jamiroquai.
All right. The Heroes is the Wallflower song. Come With Me is a Puff Daddy song featuring Jimmy Page. Deeper Underground, Jamiroquai song. I don't know if I remember that song. No Shelter, Rage Against the Machine. Air by Ben Folds 5. Running
This
Knees.
is actually a really great
Yeah,
soundtrack.
I've told you. I feel like people like this soundtrack. Running Knees by Days of the New. Macy Day Parade by Michael Penn. Walk the Sky by Fuel. A320 by Foo Fighters. Brain Stew, the Godzilla remix by Green Day. Untitled by Silverchair. Out There by Fuzzbubble. Undercover by Joey Deluxe. And then opening titles and Looking for Clues by David Arnold. Anyways.
Forget the podcast. Well, let's all just listen to that soundtrack together.
Anyways, we're gonna look forward to
Are you taking
2024.
Godzilla for next week?
-1 or which one? Godzilla 2000?
Yeah, but
Godzilla
we just talked about how it's not called Godzilla 2000.
Yeah, but we have to because it's like saying you can't say God of War without saying 2018 because you can't. There's too many things that are just called God of War. Right? Am I wrong?
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's
Also-
room for error. I feel like there's probably a lot of Godzilla movies that are just called Godzilla.
Yes, there are.
Yeah, so you gotta say 2000. Got to do it. Anyways,
I mean, there's at least 3.
yeah. Mike, pick -1. I'll watch that.
Where are you gonna watch it? I think it's coming out of theaters. I just saw something. It's
Soon,
coming out
yeah.
of theaters soon.
What did you go to see the other day? You were at the movies.
I saw The
Meteors?
Beekeeper.
Oh, yeah.
Starring Jason Statham.
I forgot to text you back about that.
Is it good?
It's a Jason Statham movie.
It's Jason.
Okay.
It's Jason Statham. So let me break it down for you, right? Jason Statham is a beekeeper, literal beekeeper. He's like keeping bees.
Bees?
He's living bees. I want to do that the entire time.
He's also in a secret organization. Guess what they're called?
Bees.
They're called the beekeepers.
Bees?
So he's a literal beekeeper working living in a little shack on some land that Felicia Rashad owns in the middle of Springfield, Massachusetts, I guess. I'm not.
You could have led with it's a hometown joint.
It's a hometown joint. So he's in Massachusetts keeping bees. And Felicia Rashad is in the movie. She's just like,
He's an
I don't know,
apiarist.
yes, he's an apiarist, and she lets him stay there for reasons unknown. It's not, they don't really dwell on it, but she's like, yeah, I'm gonna take care of you. Felicia Rashad says, hey, come over for dinner later. This is all very early in the movie. She goes to her computer to do something, and then she gets like a pop-up saying, hey, your files are in danger. Call this number to save your dad or whatever. So she calls the number, and then for some reason she gets transferred to like this scam
Isn't the plot
scam
of
call
a
center.
Hollywood film?
Yes, she calls it like a scam, like a call center, a scam call center. For whatever reason, the guy that's like in charge of the floor of all those callers is like, oh, patch her to me. I'm gonna show you guys how it's done. And like they have like this big TV showing how he's like walking her through giving control of her computer to him so he could wipe out her bank accounts. And then she kills herself, and then that just puts David Statham, the beekeeper, on a warpath, and you find out that he's not just a Jason Statham. He's not just a beekeeper, but he's a beekeeper, which is an organization of
Bees.
guys. Bees. It's an organization of like people who work outside the law to keep the hive, which is America. They nailed that point home several times. America, like on the rails, and Jeremy Irons is there. I don't know if he's really the bad guy. He's sort of the bad guy. Not really, though. Yeah, so Jason Statham, because Felicia Rashad invited him over for dinner, but then she died, he murders a bunch of people between Springfield and Boston. And they never quite say that he went to Martha's Vineyard, but I think he goes to Martha's Vineyard at the end.
That's nowhere near Boston.
Yeah, but I think the movie in its entirety takes place in Massachusetts. There's a part where he goes to, I believe, an island. So I can only assume it was Martha's Vineyard, given the context of what was occurring. I don't want to ruin the real big twist of the film. The beekeeper thing is just it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Jason Statham takes off his mask and he's actually a bee.
Oh boy.
He was really into bees.
Yeah, apparently. Bees.
Bees.
I wouldn't be able to watch that movie because the whole time I would just be doing that. The whole time. Also,
There was
it doesn't
only,
sound
like-
like a good movie.
There's only like 5 other people in the theater with me, but it was the IMAX theater, right? But we all picked seats like right in the center, so it was just very weird that like
Wait,
we weren't in
the IMAX in Reading? Like the good IMAX?
no.
Okay.
No. Oops, I just hit a button. No, the one in the AMC theater.
Do you think the IMAX in Reading would take
That's
up
why I was
a
confused.
theater to show The Beekeeper?
Well, I mean, there's not like a lot of big IMAX movies out right now.
I
Oppenheimer's
don't
still in
think so.
theaters or no?
Oppenheimer's theme.
Oppenheimer's back in theaters.
In IMAX.
Across the Spider-Verse is back in
Dune's
theaters.
gonna go back in theaters.
For a
Dune
day.
1's gonna go back
But there's
for a
nothing,
bit before
there's nothing
Dune 2.
new currently in that would like warrant being in that
No.
theater. We have
The Beekeeper is the one, I think.
we have here, we're lucky, very close to us, we have not one but two like theaters that are just an IMAX thing, and it's not like a regular like AMC or Showtime or something IMAX. It's like at least the one in Reading. I don't know about the one in the South Shore if it's the same, but the one in Reading is like one of few movie theaters in the whole country that have like top of the line IMAX screens that like don't exist other than like very few places. So like anytime you see a movie there, it's like a very, very good experience. Plus they got the butt kickers. That would probably be the optimal way to watch Oppenheimer if it's coming back to theaters. I would imagine it would be going back to that theater then.
Actually, that's probably true. It is probably true. Maybe I should try and see that.
I mean, I really don't have an interest in seeing it. I was telling Cam this the other night, but if it does go back there and you go, Mike, just let me know, because maybe I'll go, because I can't imagine it'll be as packed as it was when it came out.
Maybe.
I don't know. Anyways,
what's currently in IMAX is a Queen concert. So
yeah, I feel like when they don't have the right movies, they play other random shit there.
Oh, and Across the Spider-Verse.
That would be fucking dope in that theater. Fuck. I might see if there's like
Oppenheimer.
You know what I found out?
January 26th.
There's like theaters apparently that like have like 3 screens where it's like there are 2 on the sides and then there's 1 in the middle.
Playing different movies?
Like, how does that? Yeah, like that play like that's like a movie theater.
That's absurd.
Like, yeah, like my friend, like one of my, I don't know what it's called, but like I saw like one of my bosses at my new job, like he showed a picture of him seeing like Godzilla -1 in that theater, and it was like I've never seen anything like it before. But apparently it's a new thing or like a relatively new thing of, I don't know.
Oh, so it's not 3 different movies playing at once. It's just 3 different screens playing the same movie?
It's 3 Yeah.
Huh. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Before we jump into tonight's topic, which is kind of a look ahead into 2024, Cam, what was your game of the year last year? Do you have one or no?
Yeah, it was the Legend of Heroes Trails in Reverie. Come on now, what are we talking about? Like, I mean, like, listen, that was like my personal pick because not even just, and it's honestly not even just because like, oh, it's the latest Legend of Heroes game. Because like, Kingdom Hearts 3 was not my game of the year for 2019 because it just, it didn't like meet the expectations, which were just absurdly high, right? Of course, but even with like that in mind, it was my second favorite game of the year. And so, but like with Trails into Reverie, it was like, I've talked about this game several times on this podcast, but it being like the One Piece of video games, this particular entry was like the culmination of 20 years of world building and storytelling and like all these characters from all these different locations working together to stop this like, this threat as one group was just incredibly satisfying to experience as someone who's been playing through the series for the past 2 years. And it just like I felt like it did everything like really well and really right. Again, it's not a perfect game because it was structured a little bit differently than most of the Legend of Heroes games are, where it was pretty like streamlined experience. And then like the other part of the game was kind of like a dungeon crawler where like y'all are doing this whole other thing, and it all just kind of is to more or less serve as like an epilogue for these 3 arcs that have been in the series so far, as well as kind of start planting the seeds for the new arc for Trails Through Daybreak, which comes out in June, I think, later this year. So that's like why it was my game of the year. But also like, I mean, Baldur's Gate 3, I think, is just kind of like objective. No, I won't say objectively, but like I think it was the most impressive game of 2024 on like what it did like for the RPG genre, and like how it was able to get so many people that aren't really normally in that space to play that game and really enjoy that game. The characters are super duper well written, like across the board. You know, of course there are other games I really liked, like Sea of Stars, like, you know, we talked about this already, like Garl is character of the year, despite how good like all the characters are in Baldur's Gate 3. And while I haven't finished Baldur's Gate 3, I genuinely do not see myself finishing that game and thinking that any of those characters are better than Garl from Sea of Stars.
Oh, that makes me happy to hear. Well, I mean,
Because I just
no slight on Baldur's Gate. I'm just happy that there are other Garl lovers like that.
Oh, well, I mean, we've already talked about
Yeah,
this. But, like, but I just think that like the way that Garl is incorporated in that story, and how that story just fundamentally does not work without Garl's existence, is just something that like you just really haven't I really haven't seen before in a video game.
Yeah.
And you can say like, oh well, like if it wasn't for like Cloud and Final Fantasy VII, and it's like it's not the same. It's not the same. Like they like there's the way that they play with how his specific actions affect the world at large is just like so different and cool, and
especially because like he's, you know, quote unquote not the main character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Mike is so mad that we're talking about Garl because when I was playing through Sea of Stars for the first time, I had no one I could talk to about it yet, really, because I think everyone at the time that was playing it for review, I think I must have been the furthest, so I couldn't really talk to anyone about it yet, and I would instead talk to Mike about it. And well, actually, at first I would talk to Jen about it because I was so blown away by the game, but I was just blown away by Garl. And then she pushed me off onto Mike, and I had to like explain the whole fucking game to Mike and what's going on, so it made any sort of sense. Mike, are you happy that we're talking about Garl again? How excited are you to have another conversation about Garl?
Up until you brought up my name, I wasn't even listening to the conversation.
So Cam was not selling you on the Trail series or Baldur's Gate 3?
No.
Oh, Mikey.
I do think Mike would like the Trail series if we gave it a shot.
I probably would like the Trail series.
What? Do you know things about that series?
No, but I feel like I've seen pictures and I'm like, oh, it's a kind of game that I think a younger me wanted to play and just never got around to doing it, and now I've gotten so far past it that I can't be bothered.
Yeah,
how do we bother you, Mike? How do we make this happen? How do we make 2024 the year of Mike playing Trails?
Honestly, I find that the more you try to make me do something, the more resistant I am to it. And if I do it, I'm going to be so resentful the entire time that I cannot enjoy it.
I don't think that's true, because I feel like I played a role in you playing Danganronpa last year.
That was different because like I don't think I had any. I think I went into it thinking like, oh, I don't want to play this game because I didn't want to watch a bunch of characters die, and I didn't want to watch a bunch of characters die. I got through it, but it was okay.
So does that mean you're not going to play Danganronpa 2?
I wasn't as resistant to Danganronpa as I was to like a lot of other things. I think on some level, I did kind of want to play it.
Yeah. I do plan on playing Danganronpa 2 this year. It's supposedly the best one.
Also, I already own the game, so I was like, well, I can do it.
Yeah, I think.
So you're saying all I have to do is buy you a game that I want you to play, and then you already own it. So now it's like, I guess I'll play it.
Yeah, maybe 3 or 4 years down the line.
That's fine. Playing the long game, Mike. Playing the long game.
Like, how's Battlefield?
Yeah, like Mike is someone I would not like try and push to play a series, because like I know that he very much likes plays what he wants and likes what he likes in a way that like it's just like I know it's not worth putting in the effort.
Someone finally gets it.
Let me call Jesse so that Jesse can ask you to play Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, you go.
Every time Jesse's on the podcast, and at this point, as a joke, he'll try to sell Mike on Sea of Thieves.
It's gone about as well as you expect.
Mm-hmm. We can't get you to play Sea of Thieves. We can't get you to play Sea of Stars. Is there a sea game we can get you to play?
like the mint of the sea.
Anyways,
What, you gonna finish Final Fantasy or?
I probably should do that.
yeah,
There we
you
go.
gotta be
Number
right
one
at
on the
the
list.
end.
I'm still exactly where I left.
I don't remember where that is. Are you at the gate?
I am. So
You're at the point of no return, aren't you? I thought you were.
I'm at the point where what happened? Like what? Like the big bad guy, I think, took a part of a city or a town and like he took it up into the sky. I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you're not at the point of no return, you're very close to that point. You don't have a lot left. I mean, you like the spectacle of the boss fights, right? Like that's one of your yeah. I mean, you should see it through just for
Oh yeah. Listen,
spectacle of the end of
again,
it.
the only reason why I stopped is because I was given the opportunity to like do side missions and stuff, and I did a whole bunch of side missions, and then I was like, you know what? Maybe I've seen enough, and I just stopped playing the game.
Oh,
It's like, you
Mike.
know what?
There's DLC now too, Mike. You gotta
There's deals.
you gotta dip back in, dip your toes in the waters. But before we continue down this long path of not actually talking about what we're here to talk about tonight, we should probably segue before it gets too late into
I do want to say really quick
get it.
before we get into the topic of the show. I wanted to talk because I don't know where else I'm going to really talk about this. I watched the Ted miniseries on Peacock.
Okay.
People say it's good.
And I liked it. I'm one of those people like I like Family Guy. Like it's not as good as it used to be, but like I like it. I really liked the first Ted movie. Ted 2's fine. And like this was cool, right? Like there's obviously certain things that they definitely just like completely recanonized to make the show work. Like the parents are not the parents from the movie. Like in the beginning scene, like they definitely like they look completely different. But I really do like the guy who plays like the young John. Like I think he very much fits like this is who this character would be if he was young. You know, he's got the Bostonian accent. I think y'all will particularly like it because you're from the area, and they make a lot of funny jokes about Boston. Like there's a joke where Ted, like they basically force Ted to go to school, and then he's just like what's it like being like the only white person at this school, and you just like it just pans to the kids and they're like all white kids. And he's just like and then he's just like, yeah, we had a Indian, like Asian Indian kid before, but then they got him. He's like, what the hell does that mean? What do you mean that they got him? He's like, huh? And he just doesn't like respond to him. It's just like it really does feel like a live action version of Family Guy. It really does. Like the way that it's shot, the way that like the music is very like I think it's the same dude who does the music for all of Seth MacFarlane's stuff. It really does give off that Family Guy vibe, but it's Ted and it's live action.
I read something that said Seth must have been saving all of his good jokes for this Ted miniseries because he definitely hasn't been using them on Family Guy.
Well, he doesn't write for Family Guy anymore. He hasn't for probably a decade at this point. So like, I get that, and that's like when I feel like I kind of fell off of Family Guy.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to like catch up because there's good episodes, like but I enjoyed it. I hope it gets a second season because right now it's just kind of considered like a limited series, but I do hope it gets a second season. I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah.
Does he not write any of the shows anymore? Does he not write American Dad either?
Oh no. Mm-mm.
So what does he do?
Yeah. So
I guess
The Orville?
he really just does the voices now. He just does the voices, really.
Interesting. Oh, the Orville. That's like the funny Star Trek show.
The Orville is really good. Like the Orville is legitimately really great. I've watched that. I don't think I've watched the latest season, like the New Horizons or whatever they called it, but I really really like that show. And some of the cast members in Ted are from the Orville. So like when I saw them, I'm like, oh, they're from the Orville. Like Seth MacFarlane's one of those guys where he likes to reuse like actors that he's friends with and put them in his other stuff.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, the Orville is really, really good. Like the first few episodes, it kind of feels like relatively like generic sci-fi show. But once you get to like the Star Trek aspects of it, where you like they're put in these scenarios and they're like learning specific, it's like kind of like the philosophical nature stuff of the universe, of people, like things like that. It's really compelling sometimes. I really like that show. I think it's a very like underappreciated show, and like I know that show's kind of been fighting to stay alive for a while now. Like I think there's 3 or 4 seasons, but it's a show that like deserves a lot more attention, in my opinion. It just happens to be created and
Starring.
Starring Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah.
All right, Brenden, are you sold on any of these shows now?
I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll watch the Ted miniseries.
The Ted show's like,
I feel like
seven 35-minute episodes. Like
the Ted miniseries was something that like I don't think I needed, but I feel like that's a thing that like at some point I'll be like, oh, I'll just watch this right now and like just bang it out real quick. I remember liking the first Ted movie. I don't know if I've ever seen the second one, but
I know I saw it because didn't the
second one has Tom Brady in it?
Wait. I'm just trying to remember. There's Mila Kunis and there's Amanda Seyfried. Who was the lead in the first one? Who was the lead in the second?
Mila Kunis
was in the first one.
Yes.
Okay, and then
the first one is when they like climb Fenway Park and like he rips open. Yeah.
Yes.
The second one, the second one has a Tom Brady like cum joke. Doesn't it have like they go to Tom Brady's house and it's like a cum joke? That's the fucking joke.
I don't remember anything from these movies.
I don't remember a lot. I don't remember really anything from Ted 2.
Except
Ted 1 is like legitimately a great.
Is it hold up still? Because I haven't watched that since it came out.
I haven't watched it either since it came out.
Yeah, one of them, you can do it for your movie. Of the month
Mike, don't pick Ted.
One of them, they went to Boston Comic Con, right?
That must have been the second one then. I don't remember that in the first one.
The Comic Con? Yeah, I think that was the second one.
Second one, okay.
Is Ted the movie where he's like a car insurance agent? What movie is that? That's not... It's another comedy, I think, with Mark Wahlberg that takes place here.
Now is it down to, I don't know, 50 or so films?
It's not The Other Guys.
Nope.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Now I gotta look stuff up. Get to
I want to move to the real topic, but I also want to ask something else now that we're down this path, and it's just going to derail us further.
All right.
But it's the only time that Dom will potentially have someone else on the show to talk to about it. Dom, did you? If you didn't, then we'll just move on. Dom, did you watch the Doctor Who specials yet or no?
I have not.
All right.
Yeah, baby. Oh.
Wait, you said you have not watched them yet, right?
I haven't. Not yet.
Because I know you liked them, Cam, right?
Yeah, like so. The first and third one were like solid. Like I wouldn't they didn't lift my skirt up or anything. The second one is really great because it's basically just the Doctor and Donna on a spaceship. And it's really just them being able to like play off each other, and it's very much like them like kind of like catching up on like what the Doctor has been doing since he left her. And it's really, really great.
The third one's the one with Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, third one's with Neil Patrick Harris. And then the first, the Christmas special with the 15th Doctor was good. I liked it. It's a very like it's a very different Doctor. It's like very like modern. But I like Shooty a lot. Like I love Shooty in Sex Education. That's like one of my favorite shows ever. And I think it's just like a nice kind of like change of pace that I think that Doctor Who has needed for a while now. Just because, and granted, like Russell T Davies was the original showrunner of the New Who, and he's back in charge. So like there will be definitely some similarities there when it comes to like writing and storytelling, but in the sense of like Shooty's like personality as the Doctor and things like that, that's the stuff that I think is going to feel really new and really different, that I am excited about. So yeah, at this point it's really just kind of wait and see. But I am excited. Yeah.
They already came out and said that he's short term, right? He's only doing like 1 or 2 seasons.
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought for some reason I read something that said that like they were like he was like a short term doctor for some reason. But it may have been me remembering something about the Tenant in like in between. I may have been thinking about. I may have been reading about the Tenant thing and connected the two. Yeah.
So after Tenant, after those 3 specials, Tenant is not the that was it.
Yeah.
Mike, who's your favorite doctor?
Christopher Eccleston.
Would you just have that in your pocket ready to go at all times?
He does.
Honestly, I was just gonna pull a name out of. I have several doctors' names in my head. I was just gonna pick one of them.
Okay. Who's your favorite doctor, Cam?
Mine?
Yeah.
David Tennant, 10th Doctor for sure.
What about you, Dom?
But Matt Smith is really great as well.
I love most of. I've loved most of them. I really like Capaldi.
Yeah, a lot of people really a lot of people. I think over time
he brought something different to the Doctor that I don't know, that I liked. I don't know, he was more gritty than. I guess Eccleston had it too, but
I don't think Eccleston was gritty per se. I just think that he was very he was sarcastic and hearty type vibe. Yeah, I do think Capaldi was. The thing with Capaldi, I think, is that he, when he first in the first season, he was very just cold, the entire time. You didn't really get us. He didn't really. That was really it, and I think over time they made him open up his shell and evolve, because they realized hey, we gotta kind of do more here. But by the time you get to the end of Capaldi, he's really, really great. Yeah, I think that he was just I just think it took a little bit time for him to cook for me. But by the second season, the 9th season, and I think that he started to really come into his own, and yeah, I really liked him, and I really like Jodie. I do think that the writing wasn't super great during Jodie's run, unfortunately.
I need to get back to her run, because I watched her first few episodes and I was like, this just doesn't feel like Doctor Who, and I fell off for a while. So
I don't want to say that it didn't feel like Doctor Who. It just didn't feel. I just don't think the writing was there, but I did really like the companions. I especially Graham, the older man. He's one of my favorite Doctor Who companions. He was very witty and a little bit sarcastic, and I really liked his run. I just think that there's just certain things that they just really kind of either didn't do, or they threw away, where when some of the companions leave, it's kind of yeah, I'm just leaving, and then it's just that's it. There's not something big that builds up to their departure or anything like that. And I actually didn't finish Jodie's last season. I actually need to go back to that, but I did start it, so I do want to see how that stuff finishes out. But I do think that there are some really great moments with Jodie, and I think she definitely did her the best that she could with what she had. And there are some great episodes of Doctor Who during Jodie's run, especially the Fugitive Doctor stuff. I really liked that. I thought that was interesting. I think that she has 3 seasons. I think that her second season, similar to Capaldi, is where she really gets her footing. Okay. And it gets a little bit better with everything that's going on. And then the final season, that's the Flux. I've heard very mixed things. I know some people that really like it. I know some people that think it's the worst that Doctor Who's ever been in the new Who. So, yeah.
this whole time I was
Brenden,
trying to.
who's your favorite companion?
I was
Rose.
I was expecting
Absolutely.
you to ask me that, so I'm gonna say fuck. I
He's
just
gonna
looked it up.
read something off the screen and it's gonna be wrong anyways.
I have spent this whole time looking for.
Just say Rose, because then you'll be correct. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which one was Karen Gillan?
Amelia.
Yeah, Amy.
That's Karen Gillan.
Yeah,
Amy's solid.
I was gonna say. I was trying to find the character's name from Inspector Spacetime, and I could not find it.
Oh no, that's
I
would have been.
I think Amy's pretty like middle of the road. Like I think that I think she's good and like but I just think I didn't really care for like her personality a whole lot of the time. It kind of felt like not all the time, but enough of the time she was just kind of there for me.
Yeah.
But like when they did the episodes that focused on her, it was really really great. Like and so that's why it's kind of like a mixed bag. But yeah, Rose is like my favorite TV character ever. Like I love Rose Tyler. I met Billie Piper at a Sacramento Comic-Con like probably like 5+ years ago, and that was one of the highlights of my life. I love Billie Piper, and like I think that she I'm really sad because she's like a really great actress in general, and she just doesn't do a whole lot, and I don't know if that's like her choice or if that's like a she doesn't get selected for stuff all the time, but she did like a play a few years ago called Yerma, and she basically won like the British Tony for that role, like and like she's like incredible in, and like she does have a show.
Did you watch Penny Dreadful?
Yeah, she's great in Penny Dreadful. Penny Dreadful is such a good show. Like such a good show. And then she has her own show called it's on Max. I forgot what it's called though. I Hate Susie. I Hate Susie. And yeah, she has that show on Max, and she's done that I think there's only been 2 seasons so far, and I think she's really good in that. I think it's a really like kind of interesting show. Like the first season is basically about like she's basically a celebrity, and a like explicit content of her gets leaked, and it's just like her dealing with that and like her household like her household dynamic with her husband, and her son is deaf, I believe, and so like it's just kind of dealing with like the fallout of that happening, and she's really good in it, and I think it's really interesting. So yeah, that's on Max. I Hate Susie.
I'll have to check it out.
Okay, topic of the show before we keep on.
Whew, yeah. So
No, it's too late.
I figure it is pretty late. We'll keep it tight. We can kind of look forward into, we obviously know of a bunch of things that are supposed to come out this year. We know of things that are coming out this year. We know of some things that are rumored to happen this year or come out this year. So we don't have to go through everything. I think we can kind of just pick and choose the things that we're excited about, or maybe, ponder on some rumors a little bit. We can kind of just go wherever. I mean, obviously this month, we're already, I feel like what we know about this year and what was already coming out this year, I feel like we're already kind of off to a great like year of releases. Like I feel like there's already some great games that are, coming out, already out with. I haven't played Prince of Persia yet, but Prince of Persia is getting amazing reviews. It's sitting around like an 87 on Metacritic. People, anyone that I've talked to that has played it seems to rave about it. So I don't know. I know Dom has purchased it. I don't know if you started it yet, Dom.
Yeah, I played. I'm still very early in the game. It's like gorgeous to play.
Yeah. Todd.
I don't have a lot of time in it, so.
Todd was very excited for it, and Todd has been playing it kind of nonstop. Is that on your radar, either of you, Cameron or Mike? Prince of Persia?
Well, no.
I want to play it eventually, but
Yeah.
It's not something that I need to immediately play.
Yeah, I
especially with
everything
how
that's
the
coming out.
release schedule
Yeah.
that's happening. Yeah.
So I mean, we can get into that then. I mean, the rest of this month, for other like kind of big deal stuff, I mean, there is the Another Code recollection that came out today on Switch, which I picked up a copy. But that's another one that's like, I just wanted to make sure I had my copy. I'm not going to get to that for I don't know how long.
Yeah.
Probably my biggest thing for January that I'm excited to play and talk about is Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which comes out next week. That's definitely one of the highlights for me in this early year.
Yep. Yeah, I have just like spent the past few months finally like playing through.
Yeah, you just went down the. I was telling Dom the other day. Well, not, probably a couple weeks ago. I guess at this point, maybe I don't even know. No, it must have been in the beginning of January, which I guess is kind of at this point a couple weeks ago. You just played through all the games to catch up for Infinite Wealth, the games that you haven't played already, and then I have only played Like a Dragon, which is Yakuza 7, right? Yakuza 7.
Yeah.
Ishin, which not that it doesn't count, it's just it's its own thing. And then I played Gaiden over December and into January, which is the most recent game before Infinite Wealth that is kind of like a bridge between the two.
Like a Dragon and Infinite Wealth.
Yeah. So, which you're getting like more of Kiryu's side to kind of what was going on during the events of Like a Dragon and leading up to that game and Infinite Wealth. But I don't know. I was telling Dom that like him and I were talking about like different games or series that have been kind of on the back burner that we want to kind of try to bang out this year. Like I think Dom might play potentially his first Persona game this year. I think we're going to both try to tackle some like old Final Fantasy games this year. But I like after finishing Gaiden, which was a good time. It was a solid game. Like it was a good little, preamble to Infinite Wealth for me. Bet I think he should play Yakuza at some point, or at least play a game in the series, because I think it's just such a good story. It's a very rich world in those games, and I think there's a lot there to love. But yeah, Infinite Wealth's a big one. I actually like Mike. I know, don't tell me to play games, but I do really think that you probably love the Yakuza series. Like, it has, I think, a lot of elements that would really appeal to you, both in gameplay and in like story, but also in just like Yakuza does this thing where it's like it has, deep gameplay because it's just not just the main gameplay, but there's so much side stuff to go on. So there's just so many other things in the game, and then it has, a lot of serious topics and serious tones that the characters and the story at large deal with kind of across the series. But then it has so much like goofiness. Yeah, that's the best, like the best way to describe it is like it has so much goofy shit that's like in this, Yakuza, like, Japanese mob. Is that what the Yakuza, right? Kind of
Japanese mob.
Yeah, it's Japanese mob. Yeah.
It's like in this serious criminal setting of like deep shit going on, both on like, again, like a world level and like inter-character level. And then it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go fucking play a mini game where I'm running like conglomerate business where I have to like fight chair people in. I don't even remember how the mini game of that one works in Like a Dragon. But like, there's just so much ridiculous shit. There's little kart racers. You can go to actual arcades in there and play old Sega games on an arcade cabinet if you wanted to play a game within a game within a game. Like, there's just so much shit in there. I just think like it would appeal to a lot of things that I think you personally would jive with. I don't know. I think you should throw it on. I think all the games are still on Game Pass.
Yeah, all of them are on Game Pass.
Yeah, so
Infinite
like,
Wealth will not be on Game Pass though.
Yeah, that's the only one. It's there. Tekken 8 is another big deal game coming out this month that I think I'm not the biggest Tekken guy, but Mike and Dom love Tekken, and I know a lot of our other mutuals, like Jesse and Eric and them, are big Tekken fans. So everyone else being kind of excited for it has raised my hype level for wanting to play Tekken, because I've always wanted to get better at Tekken because I'm just not good at Tekken. So I think Tekken 8 is going to be where I kind of dig my feet in the dirt a little bit more and try to get better. At least like pick a character or two and just try to actually learn like the moveset and the inputs and go from there. Is Tekken 8 a day one for you, Mike? Is that an excitement game right there for you?
I don't know. I definitely do want to get it. It's just gonna be a question of what do I get it on?
I believe it has crossplay out of the gate, so that shouldn't matter.
The gate? Okay.
I think so.
So then I don't know if it's going to be a day one. Depends on how I feel financially. If I feel financially open,
it should be day one crossplay between console and PC. So,
all right,
according to the internets. But yeah, I'm excited about that for early stuff, or at least this month. What else is kind of on people's radar for things they're excited about? I know there's some big ones that I'm purposely not saying because Cam's here, so I figured Cam could take the lead on Rebirth.
Oh yeah, I mean, like that is my most anticipated game this year. Like, well, what can we say outside of this game's going to be absolutely amazing? Like, I know that
I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. But let's just say the moon falls out of the sky, the stars align, the world stops, and they say, "Hey Cam, Kingdom Hearts 4 is coming out this year." Then what happens? Is Kingdom Hearts 4 then your most anticipated game?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. I mean, but you love 7 though. Like remake is your jam.
But here's the thing, yeah, no, for sure. But here's the thing, like I love Legend of Heroes more than I love Final Fantasy. And I'm still more excited for Rebirth than I am Trails Through Daybreak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I am I just like, it's just very exciting because, you know, Remake was amazing, and I know that we weren't on the exact same level, but we both like loved the game to varying degrees.
My opinion on the game has actually risen over time.
Really?
It's still like, so like if you're saying it's 10 out of 10, I respect it, and I think that there's actually absolutely the conversation there for that. Like I get the reasonings for that. I think I'm still like sitting around 7, 8. 7's probably too low actually.
That's still wild
I think I said 7
me.
before. I'll take that back now, and I'll say it's probably 8, 9. Like it is a good game. It definitely has some like aggravating flaws to me, but overall, like, I mean, the game made me then go play the original for the first time, and I am extremely excited for Rebirth. I think Rebirth is gonna be like I think Rebirth, just based off of the vibes of what we have seen in trailers and stuff, like Rebirth to me looks like that's a 10 out of 10, no question. Like that game would have to like be really bad for me to think it's not going to be good.
I do agree that like part of Rebirth looks like that Remake was like the blueprint.
Yeah.
Right? And that Rebirth is going to add more things and just polish more things to become a bit more realized. But I still think the foundation that Remake made was still like phenomenal. And so like, you know, I'm not going to discount Remake once I play Remake and think, or like Rebirth, and think that, oh, Remake isn't still, like, in my opinion, a 10 out of 10 game.
Yeah.
It's just making that better.
Oh, 100%.
Right?
I mean, that's how I feel about like Breath of the Wild is still a like 10 out of 10 immaculate game for me. Tears of the Kingdom being pretty much, in my opinion, better in every way for a lot. Well, again, I think they're still very different games. And I think you'll make that same comparison sort of with Remake and Rebirth, that like they're going to be different games in a lot of ways. I don't think it should discount Remake. Do we know, is the gameplay in Rebirth supposed to be like Remake or 16?
No, it's like okay,
Remake. Good. I'm excited for that.
It's just open world.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like an open world game now, which is really cool. So I'm really excited. I honestly have tried to see as little as possible.
Same. I haven't watched any of the new teasers or anything like that. Like I see people sharing stuff, and I'm like, I already know I'm playing this game. I'm good. Like I'm ready to go. Like
I started watching some of that trailer, and I was just like, okay, I'm good. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like I got my, it just kind of like refilled my tank a little bit. Like, all right, cool. I'm ready. I'm very sad though, because I still haven't been able to pre-order the collector's edition. every time I like have the opportunity to like do it, it's sold out, and then when I don't have the opportunity to do it,
It's there.
back in stock, and I'm like, fuck.
Is it a Square Store exclusive or is it everywhere?
Yeah,
Square
it's
Store.
Square Store.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I have to pre-order it at Best Buy regardless because
Steelbook.
Best Buy has an exclusive Steelbook on top of the one that comes in the deluxe edition. And I've gotten every FF7 remake Steelbook so far. So I'm like, I gotta do what I gotta do. You know what I mean?
You're also the Steelbook guy. Like, I don't think there's
I am.
anybody that likes Steelbooks more than you.
There are definitely, but you just don't know them. Like I know people that are way more Steelbook sickos than I am.
Wow.
But
okay.
yeah. So I'm looking forward to Rebirth. I'm excited. We're definitely going to do a spoiler cast.
100%.
I'm really excited.
That's not even a question. Maybe we can realign maybe we get the remake spoiler cast back. I think that was me, you, Todd, Jesse, and Grayson.
Maybe. I don't remember. I know Jesse was in it.
Yeah. I think it was.
I don't remember.
I think it was Todd and Grayson.
But yeah, I think the most interesting thing about this game is just going to see how it differs from 7, because this is where like it begins, right? This is where anything is possible, and that's really exciting.
Spoiler aside, because I think Mike might know it, but Mike has not played it. I don't know if he ever will. I don't know if Dom knows this specific spoiler, and I know that Dom, at the bare minimum, is fingers crossed planning on playing Remake this year for the first time. What's your prediction? The scene, you know what scene I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Do you think it is changed or the same?
It stays the same.
Okay. I think I agree with you. I think they're playing it up on purpose. I don't think that scene changes.
That is what I think, and that is what I want. I've talked about this on Twitter a lot, but I think that I love the idea of Remake sending the message of like being able to defy fate, defy expectations. But then this game will basically be the reminder that like some things are inevitable. That doesn't mean that everything that everything is under your control, under your direct control. And they've said themselves that this is the Empire Strikes Back of this trilogy. So
wait, they have said that about this?
Square Enix,
that actually makes me even more fucking excited for this game.
Square Enix has basically compared it to the Empire Strikes Back of this trilogy. So that means that at the end of this game, our heroes are not going to be in a good spot. So I'm really excited to see how that turns out. And also, we're not getting any like intergrade for this game. There's not going to be any sort of DLC. So we're going to be hopping right into the final game, which is really exciting. There are some things that I'm disappointed about. Like, we know for a fact that Sid and Vincent aren't going to be playable. They're going to basically be in the Red 13
of this
role
game. Yeah.
in this game. So I'm also curious as to. I'm not saying that there isn't a lot of game left after that moment in Final Fantasy VII, but I'm also curious as to how are you going to outdo yourself after Rebirth?
Yeah,
online chocobo racing.
Because there's so much stuff that we're going through.
Yeah.
In this, like the vast majority of stuff we're going through in this game. How are you going to top yourself after this game? And really like stick the landing? Because one of the things also that's notably not going to be in Rebirth, which I'm kind of upset about, is Wutai. Wutai is not in this. Is in Rebirth. You don't go to Wutai in Rebirth. And for those that don't know, in the original Final Fantasy VII, that whole part of the game is optional. Like that whole arc, you don't have to do.
That's the Yuffie.
That's the Yuffie stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's the Yuffie stuff. And so I think obviously they're saving that for part 3. But I'm also just like, what else though?
I think there'll definitely be different stuff. Like
I think they got to add
even if
some
certain
more
things
stuff.
don't change. I still think that the overall story of Rebirth and whatever the third game ends up being called, I think is going to be different. Like, I don't know if it's just going to be the same end. Like, I think it might be different. I will say, the more we're talking about this and I'm thinking about it, I'm going to throw my wild take out.
Okay.
Even if that part of the game still happens to those characters,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it doesn't happen that way. I wonder if someone tries to stop it from happening, but then it still happens in a different way. So, like, maybe it doesn't happen there. Maybe something happens to stop it from happening, but then it still happens unexpectedly.
Here's the thing that's interesting about it, too. This is the one thing that makes me think there's a possibility that event does not happen. Because the big ongoing theory is that this Sephiroth is from the future, right? He's from Advent Children, and he goes back to try and retry and succeed, and he should know that event is what causes him to lose. That event is ultimately what causes his plan to fail. And so I'm wondering, like, if, like, I assume that he would know that. And so why would he do that again, knowing, like, presumably knowing that is what made him lose at the end of the day in the original FF7. That is the thing that makes me think, is he, but that's all based on theory. That's all based on, like, fan theory, nothing, because he has the wing, and he only has the wing in Advent Children. And so it's just like...
Doesn't he also have the wing in Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, but that's not the same thing.
Maybe it's that Sephiroth.
And so that's my main thing. That's the main thing that I'm like, that has me not 100% convinced that the same events will happen.
I mean, I definitely think that they're gonna change a lot of stuff. Just that specific thing.
We already have seen some. We've already seen some stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, that's new.
I'm excited.
So.
That is definitely one of my most anticipated games of the year. I mean, the beginning of this year is great because Infinite Wealth was one of my most anticipated games. Final Fantasy is one of my most anticipated games. It's not a quote unquote new game, and I probably won't play it right away because it's coming out very closely to Rebirth. But Persona 3 Reload is like, I never finished Persona 3, and I'm very excited to play that game because I know a lot of people, like, I love Persona 5, but a lot of people say Persona 3 is their favorite Persona. So I'm like, I'm ready to get fucked up.
Yeah, for a lot of people, it's the first one you play. The first one you play is the one that really, like, steals your heart.
Which makes sense. Steals your heart. Persona 5.
Yeah. I mean, because Persona 4 was my first one, and that's my favorite. And so, I'm really excited for Reload. I played a little bit of it at PAX West, and it's Persona 3 with a Persona 5 polish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's exciting. It's really exciting. It's really exciting. It's really exciting. I'm definitely gonna play as much as I can before Rebirth, because, like, just realistically, at least for the first half of this year, for me at least, there's gonna be something coming out every month that I want to play, and so I'm not gonna just wait until I have nothing to play to try and blitz through Persona 3. I would rather just do it at chunks at a time when I can, and then I'll eventually finish it.
Is this gonna be what gets you to play Persona 3, Mike? It is a Game Pass day one too. Persona 3 Reloaded.
Oh yeah, I was gonna play Persona 3 Reloaded. That was already on my to-do list.
What about Metaphor? Are you gonna play Metaphor when it comes out?
I think I do want to play Metaphor.
Hell yeah, you do, brother. Dude, like, outside of Rebirth and Legend of Heroes, honestly, like, Metaphor, I might be more excited for Metaphor than I am Trails Through Daybreak. They might be on, like, the same level.
Metaphor is, like, kind of up there with Rebirth for me personally. Like, it's like I'm just excited for it. Like, that game looks so fucking good.
when they showed the new trailer at the Game Awards, or right before the Game Awards, like, I was there, so we weren't able to talk when it was happening. But when I was seeing that in the theater, my first thought, like my thought going throughout that trailer was, this is going to be one of the greatest games ever.
It looks so good.
It just looks amazing, dude. And it's day one Game Pass.
That's even wilder to me.
What a W for Xbox! Like,
yeah.
What a W for Xbox to be. Hey, this is day one Game Pass. Like, yeah, sure, Infinite Wealth isn't, but dude, I would rather take the Atlas games day one Game Pass over anything else.
Oh yeah, I mean, Persona 3 and Metaphor day one. Plus, like, we can kind of talk about this now too, since we're all just like mixing together. But we just had the Xbox show developer direct this past yesterday.
Visions of Mana.
And Visions of Mana showing up there makes me think that that's a Game Pass day one game. I feel like.
I think it was on the screenshot for it.
Oh, did it say Game Pass? Oh, I didn't see that then. Because I just assumed that's why it was there. I was like, I don't know why else they would do this, aside from like, Xbox is trying to, or Microsoft is trying to like bring over more games that appeal to Japanese gamers, or more non-Western RPGs, because Microsoft has a lot of Western RPGs. A lot of franchises haven't been on Xbox in a while or ever, like Persona games coming to Xbox is a big deal. Metaphor is a big deal.
It doesn't say Game Pass. It doesn't say Game Pass.
I have a feeling that might be what's happening though. But so I'm excited for Visions of Mana regardless. But like, I think that might be a sneaky Game Pass release. We'll see. Now if we can just get Final Fantasy games on Xbox, that would be great. Just even put Remake there for now, because I'll replay Remake there to get the achievements.
I don't know why it's taking so long, to be honest. Like, I really don't know why it's taking so long.
My guess is they like I wonder if the exclusivity thing is locked into like the full trilogy coming out. Is it not?
No. So initially it was a year, and then when Intergrade came out, it extended another year. Or maybe even 6 months. I don't remember, but it was definitely no longer than a year. And so it has been available for like the past 2 years to be on Xbox, which is why I'm wondering why it's taking
interesting.
So long.
Maybe unfortunately it's gonna.
I was gonna say, like, that's something
be
you gotta
until
play
the whole
before,
thing comes out.
Rebirth. You gotta play Intergrade. You still haven't played Intergrade.
I know. I gotta find time to play that.
The soundtrack for Intergrade specifically, like, you thought Remake had a great soundtrack. Intergrade is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, it's on my to-do list. If I can hopefully between Infinite Wealth and that. Yeah, well, there's some other stuff that I'm hoping to potentially get review access to. So like, it really depends. The window between Infinite Wealth and Rebirth really depends on if things show up in my inbox. That's gonna be what kind of alters what I can play during that time.
Yeah.
But what about you, Dom? What are some of the things you're looking forward to this year?
I don't know. What am I looking forward to this year? I'm still excited to play Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah.
Mike's not, clearly.
Well, I just forgot it was coming out.
Yeah. I mean,
this month. Well, beginning next month.
Yeah,
but.
That's a game that, like, if you guys are all playing it, I would probably play it with you just to have good multiplayer times. I don't really have any, which would potentially make me end up liking it more. I have like no expectations of enjoying that or for it, so that would probably potentially make me like it more.
I am interested still in the Princess Peach game.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Princess Peach Showtime.
I still don't really know what it is, but I'm excited that like she's getting her own game and
they're doing something different. Like, it's not like a regular platformer. Yes. Like, it's its own thing. I'm looking at a list of games right now. For some reason, my brain kept thinking that Rebirth was coming out the first week of February. Seeing that it's coming out the 29th changes some things. I didn't realize that it was coming out at the end of the month. I don't know why I thought it was the beginning of the month.
Rise of the Ronin I want to play. That's the Ronin game for PlayStation. It was in their whatever they call their direct
PlayStation
last year.
The State of Play?
State of Play, yeah. I'm still interested in Black Myth Wukong.
Does
it's
that
based
have a
on
release
Journey
date?
to the West.
Yeah.
August 20th, it says.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I
it's like
remember
it's supposed to be like a Souls like with like
based on
Journey
that story.
to the West,
Yeah.
so, yeah, I don't know.
What about Indiana Jones?
Do we think that's actually going to come out this year?
Yeah, that's what I was literally just about to say. Do
I
we
think
know
so.
that's coming out in 2024?
I feel
It's
like
the only one that doesn't have a like part of the year window.
It just says 2024.
Yeah, it's just 2024 because Avowed is fall 2024.
The RTS game is also 2024. Ara? I forget what it's called.
That's also
fall. Sorry, I meant fall. Say
fall
fall.
2024, and then
Senua's May,
Senua's
which I'm
May 21st.
I have such like a tenuous relationship with Senua. I really like the first game, but that game also like triggered so much like anxiety and like it was like an uncomfortable game for me to play, and I'm very much looking forward to Hellblade 2, but I am knowing that like that same amount of dread is probably, if not more, gonna exist for me in that game. But it's such a good game that I'm gonna play it. It's just like it's the same type of feeling that like Last of Us Part 2 did to me, that like Last of Us Part 1 didn't do. Like I was super excited to play Part 2. Part 2 came out and I was playing it, and it like had this like stressful, anxious pit in my stomach the whole time playing it. So every time I sat down to play more of that game, I was like, I want to play more of this. I want to get through this. I want to see this story, how it plays out. But I also don't want to fucking play this game at the same time. I think Senua will be a little bit worse just because it's like a much like heavier darkness. I feel like just like a more I don't know. It's not as grounded as Last of Us, where it's like Last of Us is like, you know, yeah, there's fucking clickers, but it's more grounded in realism, where Senua was like got crazy shit going on. So I'm excited for that, but also, it's gonna be a lot. I will say,
I need to play the first one this year.
It's quick. I feel like you get through it pretty quick. I can't imagine it being more than 10 hours. I don't think it is. But it's good. It's a very like, it had, at least the first game, like it has a lot of puzzle sections. It has some combat sections, but it's really, I think, just more of like I feel like that's like degradatory to say it's more of like an experience, but it is very like experiential. Like that is definitely a game to like play with headphones on and like be in that game when you're playing it.
You don't. I am not expecting, like, for when it comes to that game and when it comes to Senua Saga, like, I'm not expecting great gameplay.
Yeah.
I'm expecting a type of experience that I really can only get in that game, or I've gotten in that game. Because, like, that was the thing that was, like, the gameplay elements
are kind of whatever.
Were not great. So, like, and for me, I'm one of those people, like, hey, this game could be doing a lot of really cool stuff. But if it's doing an action genre where there's like combat and things like that, and the gameplay's not fun, that really does detract the overall experience for me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, like, for me, you know, Senua's Sacrifice is like an 8 out of 10 game for me. Like, I'm not crazy about it because of the things it doesn't do that like I expect for a game of its genre.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't, like, the really unique stuff doesn't entirely make up for that. You know, Senua, like, it definitely can if it is good enough, but like for me it just wasn't, it wasn't that. And so, but I'm still really excited for it. It's definitely like in my top 10 probably most anticipated games for this year.
Yeah. I do expect Senua Saga to like have better gameplay elements. Like I feel like that's probably partially why this game, aside from just like being extremely visually stunning, it looks like it's probably going to be the best looking Xbox game up to this point. Like it looks amazing. But I feel like this game has been in the oven for so long, maybe because they were like trying to figure out how to add gameplay that was, you know, better than the first game, but also made sense for the game. Because like I don't think that Senna or Hellblade as a series, these two games, we haven't played the second one, but like I don't necessarily think that Hellblade 1 would have benefited from like having more gameplay or like deeper. No. Like I don't need like a skill tree. Maybe the game had a skill tree. I don't know if I can remember, but like I don't need that. Like that's not what that game was. But I do think that this game has to come with a little bit more of an expansion when it comes to that. Like better puzzles. It can still be the same amount of combat scenarios, but like bring something newer there to make those special or like a spectacle or whatever it needs to be. Another one for me that we're getting in the first few months is Unicorn Overlord. I like a good tactics RPG. Obviously Vanillaware has like a great track record of games that I've never played, but people love, like 13 Sentinels.
I know.
I have a Switch copy. 13 Sentinels is on my list of like, that's on the short list of my backlog of like, at some point I need to do it because I still don't have that game spoiled for me, and I don't want it to get spoiled for me.
You should try and squeeze that in before you play Unicorn Overlord.
That might be doable. Unicorn Overlord's middle of March. I feel like that could be possible.
I have it on PS4, but I do want to get a Switch copy, and I feel like I should get that soon, if it's not already unavailable.
Yeah.
So.
Mike, there's a Jujutsu Kaisen game coming out in February. Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash.
Cursed Clash.
Are you scooping this up? Has this got your attention?
I mean, I'll get it. It's probably not going to be a good like fighting game.
It's like an arena fighter?
It's a 2v2 arena fighter.
Okay.
I mean, probably get it, but that's because I think I've just decided to lean into JJK being my personality for a bit.
Is this the first JJK game or no?
Yes.
I think it's a mobile game. But this is like the first console game. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I think for like stuff that we know guaranteed is supposed to come out this year. I mean, I do think they're gonna try to get Indie out this year. I don't think Indie is gonna be a terribly long game. I don't expect it to be like a super long game. I mean, how long are Uncharted games? 20 hours less? 15 hours?
I mean, Uncharted 4 was notably much longer than the rest of the Uncharted games.
But that's kind of like the series wrap-up of that, right?
Yeah, but also just because it's like, oh, Naughty Dog, we should make longer games. Like, yeah. But you're talking about Indiana Jones. How long do you think Indiana Jones is going to be?
Yeah, I don't expect it to be super long. I mean, maybe it will. I don't know.
I expect it to probably be like 14 to 16 hours.
Yeah, I think that's like a safe spot for a game like that. I mean, from what it was, like one of the things that they talked about in that presentation that actually piqued my interest more about that game was that it seems like there's a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff even that they showed off in there, that is extremely optional. And most of it seems to be like the spelunking and like puzzle solving and stuff like that. But the people that want to seek that stuff out, it seems like there will be a lot there. So I'm actually kind of excited that it's like has all of these hidden like areas to uncover and like solve, hopefully good puzzles, because I like good puzzles. So that stuff is actually kind of interesting to me. It made me realize too that like I have seen the Indiana Jones movies as a kid because my dad used to watch them. I don't think I've watched these movies as an adult, and I should probably at least rewatch the first three.
All right, I'm changing my movie pick. I haven't picked one yet, but I'm gonna pick.
What are the first three?
Temple of Doom, Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't know if those are in order.
That's not the order. That's not the order.
Is it Raiders of the Lost Ark is the first one? Temple of Doom is the second one?
Yeah.
It's not Curse of the Golden Skull, which I have seen.
That's also not the right title.
It's not the name, but yeah, you got some of the words right.
The one with Shia LaBeouf.
Yes, it's not. That's not the
What
right
is it called?
subtitle though.
Crystal.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I was probably thinking Curse of the Golden Idol, or the Case of the Golden. Anyways, the third one. Yeah. I definitely know the name of the third one.
Mm-hmm.
What's the plot? What is he stealing?
It's got Sean Connery.
I'm not gonna remember. What is it?
Junior.
Give me the first.
Sean Connery.
The Last Crusade. I already said.
I definitely knew that title.
Apparently not.
Is there only 5? Is Dial of Destiny the 5th?
Dial of Destiny is the last one. Yeah.
Yep.
Which dang, like I don't care about Indiana Jones at all. But God, I feel really bad for people that did like that. You know that movie did not meet their expectations.
Oh, is Dial of Destiny not good?
I've heard middling things.
It was whatever.
It has Phoebe Waller-Bridge in it. I love her. She's great. Is she good in the movie?
Yeah, she was fine. I mean, I don't know if I really cared for her character that much, but she was fine.
Yeah.
Which sucks because like the director of that movie, makes really good movies.
The guy that
he made Logan. He made Ford v Ferrari, which is like so good. Like Ford v Ferrari, it was barely like on the Oscar shortlist. Like it was actually nominated for Best Picture, but it was really good. I don't think enough people watched that movie. It was very. I think the races in that movie are like the best shot car races, chases, whatever you want to say, that I've like seen in a movie. It's incredible.
Damn, Vin Diesel has some words for you. Who's the lead in that? Is that Christian Bale?
It's Christian Bale and Matt Damon.
Okay.
Matt Damon.
Kale said that director also did The Wolverine. I don't know. I'm just reading off.
The Wolverine's not a shit film. It's a good film. It's just
I didn't say it was bad. That same director.
Better than
I know. Kale is saying it's a shit film, which is it's a good film. It's just it's kind of like its own thing for some reason.
The Wolverine is the one with Silver Samurai.
Yes.
Well, it was a terrible villain.
Terrible villain in it, and it ends. That's the one that ends with Xavier and Magneto rolling up
in the airport. Yeah.
In the airport. Yeah.
Damn, I'm due for a rewatch of like all these fucking movies. I haven't watched the old X-Men films in forever.
Silver Samurai was a giant mech in that movie, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen that movie. I think I might have played the 360 game though, but I definitely didn't. I don't think I've seen that movie.
That's Origins Wolverine. That's an actual bad movie.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah, that one's. That one I want to rewatch because I'm trying to remember it. That movie ended.
That's a good game though.
Oh shit.
That movie ended.
So
I remember,
I definitely need to watch that movie though before Deadpool 3 comes out because they are definitely going to reference that movie in some way.
They did reference that movie.
It in Deadpool.
They referenced it in Deadpool 2.
Which one?
Yeah.
I don't know everything.
Deadpool 2. Yes. The end of Deadpool 2. He literally goes to that movie.
What movie?
Origins.
X-Men Origins.
Oh, he like goes in the cavern, like in the underground place.
He goes and he kills like himself from that movie because Deadpool.
Yeah. He's like underground, like in a chamber, right? It's like him with the
something like that. So that final fight with Wolverine, he's not really Deadpool. It's Wade Wilson and Sabretooth happens. Was it at 3 Mile Island?
They were in like a silo or like a maybe it was a nuclear silo or something.
Yeah, and if I recall correctly, they were fighting at the top of the silo.
Yes, and
I believe Ryan Reynolds' character falls off at like when they kill him or whatever. That movie ended with Xavier showing up to like pick up the kids because I think there was a young Cyclops there, a young Emma Frost there, I think. And I was thinking about this the other day because one of my friends was rewatching the First Class movie. So I think they had rewatched maybe First Class and
First Class is such a good movie. Like
First Class is good.
Like I will argue that is the best X-Men movie. Period.
But like I was trying to remember because I remember in not Days of Futures Past, but
why are we talking about this at this point?
I don't remember, but I just want to quickly get this out.
I don't know.
Are we getting Wolverine this year?
No,
or is that next year?
Not.
Yeah,
that's not coming out this year. Absolutely not.
Was it Armageddon?
I think the
Apocalypse
leak for that might have said 2026. I don't remember. I mean, I didn't really look at the leaks. I didn't watch the gameplay or anything. I just.
All I know is who they're voicing for Wolverine, like who's voicing Wolverine, and I'm like, about it.
Who is it?
Is it Steve Blum?
It's Liam McIntyre. He voices JD in Gears 4 and 5, Marcus's son. He's just like nothing against him. Like this is gonna sound so bad. Nothing against him, but they basically just like chose like I don't know the whitest guy that they could choose to voice his character. I like just the most like generic like. That's just how I feel because when I played Gears 4 for the first time and like JD, you know, I heard JD's voice. I'm like, oh, this is a white guy. Like it's just a generic white guy voice. Yeah. And so like, you know, like I'm not super excited about that being the pick. I wish it was Steve Blum. I wish they got Steve, like, you know, kind of like how Yuri's been this voice of Spider-Man for so long. It would have been really cool if they were just like, yo, Steve, you're Wolverine. Let's get you in here.
Oh, was Yuri Lowenthal like a cartoon Spider-Man actor beforehand? I didn't know that.
I think so.
Oh,
no, he did voice something. I want to say he voiced something in an anime. I was like, oh, that was him.
Well, he voices Sasuke.
That's what it was. I knew he
voices Sasuke, but like, yeah. So he voiced Spider-Man for 4 years, 2017 to 2020. I don't know if I'm trying to see if he voiced anything else outside of the video games. I'm just saying that like he was known to be Spider-Man for a while. That like I just think that Steve Blum to this day is the voice of Wolverine, and I think it would have been really cool if they were just like, "Hey Steve, let's get you in here and let's do a Wolverine game that you can really, you know, show your chops like in a way that's what the fuck was that me or was that I heard like Siri talking for a sec. I don't know what that was, but it wasn't my phone.
I think I heard it too, but I think that was you. I think I heard it off of your microphone.
What the fuck? Okay, that was so weird. But I'm saying like, you know, let's do a Wolverine game that does the character justice. Like you are the voice. That I think that would have been really cool. Like in most characters, I really wouldn't care as long as they do a good job. But like Steve Blum is Wolverine, you know, in a way that just feels wrong, borderline wrong for anyone else to voice. Especially when we know that these, you know, that Insomniac makes quality games, and they can do a Wolverine game justice. It just feels like a missed opportunity. I think that's the better way of saying it. It feels like a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
But quick side tangent. You know what I'm excited about throughout all of this year? That this baby is available all the time, dude.
Baja Blast, baby. Mike, are you a Baja Blast guy?
I mean, I don't go to Taco Bell.
But it's in stores all year.
It's in stores now. I don't remember if I've had
in stores all year for the 20th anniversary. And
I've probably had it before, but I don't think I remember it. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's crack. It's like, as someone who is a Dr. Pepper sicko, this is almost on the same level of like quality for me. The only reason you're seeing me drink this over a Dr. Pepper right now is because I'm taking advantage of this opportunity while I have it, where I don't have to go to a Taco Bell specifically to drink
There
Baja
are going to
Blast.
be so many people that are buying fucking truckloads of this shit before the year is over to store and hoard.
I bought three 12 packs the first time I went there.
A couple other quick ones I want to ramble off that I'm super excited about this year before we wrap stuff up. But like, it was supposed to hit at the end of last year and it didn't, so I'm just going to assume it's coming out this year. And I'm super excited about is Rift of the Necrodancer. Like, I had a chance to play that PAX East. I love Crypt of the Necrodancer. I love Cadence of Hyrule. This is not those games, but it is the same character, Cadence, and it's a different type of rhythm game that's like borrowing so much zaniness. Like, there's the DNA, like heavy DNA of like Rhythm Heaven, Rhythm Fever in this. Obviously like some Guitar Hero aspect, like Rock Band, like scrolling rhythm as well. But it has, from what the brief little bit that I played, it has like all the charm of that you'd want from like a WarioWare Rhythm Heaven game, but it's in the style and with these characters, and it has really good music. It's so good. I haven't stopped thinking about it. There's like a small snippet of the soundtrack available on Apple Music. I'm assuming must be on Spotify and other places too if you don't listen on Apple Music, but like it has a couple of the songs from the demo build, which I think the demo build might be on Steam if you want to download it, but it is real good. I'm really excited for that. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, I haven't played that game since the GameCube, so I'm super excited to play that game again. I love Mario RPG. I love Paper Mario, so that's an easy slam dunk for me. That's a no-brainer. I'll play that this year. Really like great back-to-back years for me. I get to play Mario RPG Remake last year. I get to play Paper Mario Thousand Year Door this year. That's just that's a very, very great back-to-back for me, I will say. Have you had to have played Thousand Year Door, Dom?
I did.
Are you excited for Remake, or it's whatever?
It's whatever.
Yeah.
I want to shout out some really quick.
Yeah, throw them in.
Just like some quick shout outs. Sorry. We didn't talk about it, but Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Really excited to check that out.
It's coming out soon too, right? That's in beginning of February.
Yeah, same day as Persona. The Apollo Justice trilogy port.
Yes.
Looking forward to that. I think this is going to be the year where I'm finally going to hop in and play and start playing those games. Because I have them all.
If you do it, I'll do it. I played the first one for the first time 2 years ago. And I'm like, okay. I've been just looking for the time to start the second game. So, yeah. And I have the great Ace Attorney Chronicles on Switch already.
Yep. Me too.
I actually have like, so those, I want to get this new trilogy that's coming out ported over, and I bought Phantom Detective. So like, it's not Ace Attorney, but like it's kind of, Capcom, same type of thing. Creator. Same creator. Okay. So like, I'm ready to take like weeks upon weeks and just dive into those games and enjoy myself with those. But I cut you off. Keep going.
Yeah. I actually I specifically have the Japanese version of Greatest Attorneys. I actually didn't realize that they released a English version, and I want to get that now, but I think it's kind of hard to get now, and that makes me sad.
I would check VG Plus. I bet might have it still.
Yeah, maybe. So there's that. Might be a little hot take, but Skull and Bones. I want to check it out. Excuse me. Jesus Christ. I know
Baja Blast.
I know. I know that this probably is like the most delayed game of all time. Like, it's not like Beyond Good and Evil 2 where it was in progress and then it was re-announced. No, this has just been like an open development for forever. But last year there was some stuff that leaked because there was a closed alpha that was happening, and it looked real. It looked cool. Like, it looked like something I would enjoy. People were saying from word of mouth that they had a good time with it.
Yeah.
So I'm optimistic about it. Like, normally with games that get delayed and delayed and delayed, it's normally a bad sign, but I am optimistic. I'm looking forward to it. So shout out to that. That comes out February 16th. I'm not gonna play straight away, but the Mario and Donkey Kong remake, definitely will check that out.
Yeah, I never played any of those games, so I am excited for that. I actually already pre-ordered it just because I wanted to make sure I got a physical copy of it.
Yeah, I'm for sure. I'm gonna check out South Park Snow Day. You know, I'm not. I love Stick of Truth. I thought Fractured Butthole was solid, like was good. It was but the change of going into 3D, I'm not super. Don't know if that was the right call.
Yeah.
But I want to check it out. Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. I played this last month. This game is absolutely stunning. I don't want to say that in a different way. It is like on par with the HD 2D like Octopath art style. It is stunning. And when I went into battle for the first time and I saw like the kind of like the prepare menu where it just the way that they were able to make it feel like a triple A like epic kind of style while still having that that 2D aspect to it was just I dropped my jaw. I was just like, wow, this is really well done.
Yeah.
There are some issues with the combat. I think because you have 6 party members at a time, which is a lot, and you have to choose what each of these characters want to do. And I found myself a lot of the times, at least during the demo, continuously just wanting them to do a basic attack.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no button to just auto basic attack. There's an auto act button where they will like use their skills and stuff like that. But I normally did not want them to do that. And so I was like, that was one thing that I like gave feedback on. I was like, I really think this would be a great addition if you added this. But we'll see once the game comes out. But I am still that is a day one, and it's coming out on Game Pass. So even if I don't get a code to play that early, I am playing that day one for sure. I'm excited about the new Saga Emerald Beyond. Obviously, they've been porting a bunch of those older games. I have them all. I just need to play them. So it's not a day one play for me, but I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
Other games that are supposed to come out this year that I'm excited for. I mean, Lost Soul aside, I've talked about that game on this podcast several times. Hopefully, She Dreams Elsewhere comes out this year.
Yes, I need it. I need it.
I know.
I want to throw in real quick because I feel like you might say it, but what my actual like most anticipated game of the year, if it comes out this year, right now might actually be. If not, it's tied up there with Final Fantasy and Metaphor, is Mina the Hollower, which I think is going to come out this year. But like,
I think it will too.
For me, I think just the what we played at PAX.
Yeah,
I think that game is going to do the same thing that Shovel Knight did. Like, I think it is going to. So, like, hear me out. Shovel Knight was able to recapture specific types of old school games like Mega Man, etc., but also be its own thing and feel like its own thing. And obviously with Mina, it's a different style of game. It's like a top-down Game Boy style game, and I think that the stuff that it borrows from its clear influences of how it's referencing old games, I have a lot of personal nostalgia for Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance games. I think that if the snippet of that game that I played, if the full game gives me that same feeling, like I'm fucking done. I'm wasted. There was something special there. Like, I don't know if it hit you the same way. Because Dom loves Shovel Knight, and it doesn't have to be a comparison between the two. But like, what did Mina getting to see that early. Like, where's your hype level for Mina?
I'm excited to play it.
Do you think it has the potential to live up to like Shovel Knight level of quality experience?
Quality or like it's a different style game, so it's tough for me to say.
Yeah,
like, quality wise, I expect that it's gonna
be
like
good. Yeah,
yeah.
It's a tough one for you too, because like for Cam's context, Dom is a big Mega Man guy, so like Shovel Knight I think hits a lot of the right notes for Dom in that regard. Aside from it just being a good game, or a good series of games, but yeah, fuck, Mina the Hollower is. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, a few other games that don't have exact release dates but are likely to come out this year that I'm really excited for. First one I want to shout out, because I just feel like a lot of people forget that it exists, and I think it's going to be really good, is Deca Police. Deca Police is
that supposed to come out this year?
It was supposed to come out last year. I think it's going to come out within the first half of this year. I think it's going to come out pretty soon. But it is, level 5's new RPG. So like they're the ones that make like Professor Layton, Ni no Kuni, like that type of thing.
Yokai Watch.
Yeah, Yokai Watch. And it's a new IP, which is really exciting. It's like turn-based combat. It gives me a lot of like Persona vibes, but it's like you're in a city, you're a police officer, things like that. And yeah, every time I like see like stuff for it, I'm like, dang, I'm really excited about this. I'm not super crazy about the art style that much, but like just the aesthetic of like I'm not crazy about the art style when it comes to the characters, but like the environments and stuff like that are really cool, like futuristic style. Combat looks cool. I'm really excited about it. Like that's a game that I think I see myself playing day one when it comes out, as long as there's not something that I'm more excited for that's already out at that time. 33 Immortals. I loved Spiritfarer. That game's a really special game to me. So like I will play anything that Thunder Lotus makes moving forward, and I just think it's a very interesting concept of 33. You're play with 32 other people.
Yeah.
That idea. Towerborn. I'm also really excited for. Like that's from the crap. What's the name of the Banner Saga people?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, really excited about that. Earthblade, if that does come out, from the Celeste devs. There's one other game. Oh, Windblown by Motion Twin, who made Dead Cells, which is like my favorite roguelike. Super excited for that.
Rise of the... I forget what the title is. The sequel to Case of the Golden Idol. Rise of the
Golden Idol.
Okay, yeah, Rise of the Golden Idol. That's supposed to, I think, come out this year. I am excited for that. That is... Case of the Golden Idol is phenomenal. If you haven't played it, I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, and I think one other, two other games that I want to bring up. One, like, I actually haven't looked into a whole lot, but just based off word of mouth, like, I definitely am gonna check it out when it comes out. Penny's Big Breakaway.
That looks
from,
so
like,
good.
The Sonic
yes,
Mania
no,
team.
that looks so good. It looks really good. I really hope it plays as good as it looks, because it looks fantastic. It's like the protagonist with the yo-yo, so that's right up your alley, Mike. Yo-yo protagonist, like. Think Sonic with a yo-yo.
No, it's too much power.
Yeah. And as someone who's a big Honkai Star Rail sicko, Zenless Zone Zero, like that's the new Hoyoverse game. I really don't want it to grab me by the throat, but it probably will after seeing the open beta or the closed beta or whatever. I was just like, I can't. There's another game that's gonna get me, but we'll see. And I don't know if I said this or if someone else talked before I brought it up, but The Wolf Among Us 2, I think it is going to come out this year. And I love the first Wolf Among Us. It's one of my favorite games ever, so I'm very excited for the new one. So
did you play Wolf Among Us, though?
I don't think I ever did.
It's quick. I mean, all the Telltale games are quick. It's pretty good. I don't know if anyone loves Wolf Among Us as much as Cam does. Not to say that there aren't people that love that game. I just think you're like #1 fan for that game.
The ending is so good, though. The ending is so good.
Yeah, it is an enjoyable story. You would probably actually really like you. I feel like you must have played Telltale games before, Mike. Something.
I started
Batman.
one of the Batman. I started the Batman one. I didn't get very far.
The Wolf Among Us is pretty good. Is it a its own story, or is it based off of another story?
It's based off the Fables comic, but it serves as a prequel.
Okay.
So that takes, or like not a prequel, but it takes place before the events of Fables.
It's good. I enjoyed it. I mean, I think
it's made me really want to read Fables, because it does still. I'm pretty sure the comic still does star Bigby and like what he's got going on. So I'm very curious as to what. And Fables was a very long running, very popular comic. So I do want to check that out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll play Wolf Among Us too if it comes out. I'm excited for that. I actually kind of want to play a lot of the Telltale games that I never finished. Like I never finished the Walking Dead series, which I liked. I just never finished it. I never played Tales of the Borderlands, which is also supposed to be phenomenal. I actually started Tales of the Borderlands shortly after I beat Wolf Among Us in 2021 for the first time, but I didn't finish it for no reason other than I think when I played the Wolf Among Us, it was the beginning of 2021, so like maybe the first week or something, and then Cyber Shadow came out, so I played that and never went back to the other one, Tales of the Borderlands. But I mean, I think we are already in for a pretty fun year. I think there's a lot of good games that are already coming out. I think there's some cool stuff on the horizon. Excited to see some other things that surprise us later in the year. But I think so far we have a good amount of cool stuff to look forward to, which is exciting. It's always exciting to have cool stuff on the horizon. But before we wrap things up, if you're new to the show, or is your first time listening to the show, we end every episode with the game. And the way the game works is I pick one of the games we normally play. We keep track of the scoreboard throughout the year. It's a fresh year. We're still in January, so it's a reset scoreboard. Cam has the unique potential here to get the first points on the guest board for the year. So let me add Cam to the leaderboard in my phone. Very professional. As the year stands right now, Dom has a nice lead with 3 points, and Mike and Todd are both tied in second with 1 point apiece. Cam has a chance to jump up on the board, and Mike has a chance to take a nice little lead from Todd. Todd not here to defend his spot on the scoreboard, Mike. So a lot riding on today. A lot of potential movement on the board today. But before we do that, and before I outro the show, Cam, plug whatever you want to plug, whatever you want to share with people right now. Let the people know.
So my new job, I do PR for Apogee Entertainment, who's an indie publisher. So I don't write anymore outside of my book. I'm still writing my book. So all of my stuff I'm doing right now is most likely going to be with Spawn on Me, youtube.com/Spawn on Me, twitch.tv/Spawn on Me. I will be on there next to talk about Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I am playing it. That is all I can say. Yeah, just moving forward, that's where I'm going to be talking about a lot of stuff primarily. And the spawnies are happening. I think you have one more day to vote. I think you have until the end of today to vote. So if you're watching, you can vote. If not, just check out the spawnies.com and see if you can still vote. I don't remember. And you can tune into the spawnies. I don't remember the day off the top of my head. You can... When is the show? Well, the website does not tell me, so I don't know. I can't tell you. Just follow Khalif at on Twitter at Khalif Adams, and it's his ship. He will share everything accordingly.
Yeah, it looks like vote for your favorite games until January 19th. So if you're watching right now, this is your last chance to vote for the Spawnies.
And what's cool about it is that it's all community driven. Like the community chooses the nominees, the community chooses the winners, all that stuff.
It's exciting stuff. Yeah, I'm excited for you to be doing a lot more over on Spawn on Me. That's Khalif's great. It's gonna be good stuff over there. As always, we appreciate you listening to this week's episode 402 of the Pass the Controller podcast. You can support us in a bunch of different ways. The easiest way and the freest way to do that is by going to wherever you listen to the show, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to the show, leave us a 5-star review. It takes 2 seconds. It doesn't take a lot of your time, and it helps us tremendously. So if you could do that, that would be fantastic. If you have bucks kicking around, you want to support the show, you can do that in a bunch of ways. Twitch.tv/PassController and subscribe to the show. PassTheController.threadless.com and getting some swag. Patreon.com/PassTheController and becoming a patron. If you are an audio only listener, which a majority of our audience is, I'd just like to remind, because a lot of people do end up tuning in or finding us this way as well now, but we do record the show live every week when we record. So if you want to see our faces and watch the show, you can do that by going to twitch.tv/PassController. If you can't catch the show live, no problem. We put up all the shows over on our YouTube channel. Just search Pass the Controller Podcast on YouTube and it will pop up. So all those ways to engage with us if you are only an audio listener, or if you're a video listener or a live show watcher, or you can listen to it on your podcast feed as well. We do have faces. I feel like that's it. That's what we do. That's who we are. But without further ado, the game. We are going to play Answer Unlocked today, which if you're a new time listener or if Cam needs a refresher on the rules, Answer Unlocked is a game where I pick 3 games. I read the achievement/trophies and their descriptions. Whoever guesses the game first gets the point. Without further ado, game number 1. Handsome Style. Customize your profile badge for the first time. No Nonsense Avatar. Clear arcade with 1 blank. Bushido Tactics. Clear arcade with 5 blank.
Is this Sushi Striker?
Incorrect.
Okay.
World Domination is at hand. Clear arcade with 15 blank. Leave Everything to Me. Clear arcade with all standard blank.
Street Fighter 6?
Incorrect. Don't You Take That Tone With Me, Young Man. Complete an arcade run without losing a single stock.
Tekken 7.
Incorrect. Blimey. Complete an arcade run on the highest difficulty. I Want an Award. Compete in your first local or online battle.
Is this Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2?
It is Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. Cam gets the first point. Game number 2. Cinematographer. Added 50 unique images to the image grid.
Oh, yeah. Fuck Immortality.
This is Immortality.
I couldn't remember the name of the game.
There was no shot.
Wow. Okay. There we go. Game number 3, the final game. Love the Serenity. Reach the blank of the blank for the first time. A Room with a View. Reach the blank for the first time. Finally, a moment of rest. Reach the blank blank for the first time. Smells like burned flesh. Reach the blank for the first time. What's that funky smell? Reach the blank blank for the first time.
Hades?
Incorrect. Who needs an Italian plumber? Reach the blank blank for the first time.
Borderlands?
Incorrect. My only wish to catch a fish. Reach the blank blank for the first time.
Crash Bandicoot?
Incorrect. Though that would be a funny achievement trophy name if it was Crash Bandicoot and it said who needs an Italian plumber anyway. That would be a funny achievement. The dead center of the island. Reach the blank for the first time.
I bet
Dead
you
Cells?
reached the dead center of the island.
It is indeed Dead Cells.
Okay. It's definitely got to be a roguelike because
Yes. That was I was like, if I omit all the names of the places, I feel like it'll become clear it's that. All right. Well, that'll do it. That ends the week. Mike climbing up a little bit with 2 points. Dom staying true at the top with 3. Todd, no points for you, Todd. And Cam taking a commanding 2 points over on the guest leaderboard. I will say, at some point soon, we have to figure out either having you and Jesse both on or figuring out some other little thing to do, because we know who won the show leaderboard last year. It was one Dominic 40. But there's a tie on the guest leaderboard, and it is you and Jesse. So you and Jesse need to duke it out to be the 2023 guest champion. So we got to figure out what we'll do for that. But right now, the crown is in contention, unless we split the crown in half. But that's no fun. Who wants half a crown? Anyways, thank you, Cam, so much for coming on and hanging out with us for a very tight 2 hours. We love you all out there in podcast land. We appreciate you. Until next time.